Hello everypony, Prince Elagorn of Aquilonia here, and I have to say that I am loving the A Moment with Dr. Wolf videos. They are a fascinating look into the minds of us pony analysts. One of my favorites is the one with A and Y. As you can tell by this series, I have a serious appreciation for Fallout Equestria 2. It is a great story, and one that has parts that are truly devastating and haunt you long after you finish reading. And I agree with A and Y that the ending almost doesn't seem fair to Littlepip after everything she endured. But I do have to take issue with a lot of the assumptions he makes after that. It starts to feel like he has forgotten large chunks of the afterword. I think it might be a little helpful to him if he's given a little reminder. Charge 1. Littlepip is essentially helpless in the SPP and unable to act in the affairs of the wasteland anymore. Wrong. Flat out wrong. Littlepip is still serving an important role even from the hub. Weather management is the most important thing to making sure that gardens wasn't cast in vain. Proper weather management is what will ensure the new greenery actually grows, that the soil is in fact able to support the new life after being barren for so long. On top of that, it's made clear that when Littlepip goes into the pod, she and Celestia have already made plans to figure out how to properly use the communication system. Assuming they did, which I do, and which the creation of the book certainly seems to support, that means that Littlepip is now even more powerful than before. The SBP monitors everything, and Pip and Celestia can now observe everything, and then coordinate relief efforts with outside groups like the New Canterlot Republic and the Followers of the Apocalypse at will. They are now the main info brokers in Equestria. Like with Oracle in the old DC universe, this basically gives them unlimited power without needing to be in the field. Helpless? I think not, my friend. Charge 2. Littlepip is alone now. She's cut off from her friends. Instant. Disagree. We know how ponies can get in, and we know from Celestia's offer that she has a means to let them out. We know Homage visits Littlepip. And we know that at some point in her recovery, Fluttershy steeled herself up enough to make at least one visit. If an emotionally wounded and mentally compromised Fluttershy had the guts to brave Spike's flames to see her, Calamity and Velvet Remedy almost certainly have the testicular fortitude to do so as well. Zenith and Ditzy might be a little bit different because Zenith has her responsibilities with the angels, and Ditzy might not want to risk it with her necrotic flesh, but I'm sure that through other means they're able to still send and receive messages to Pip as well. Charge 3. Littlepip went through so much that she deserved a happy ending. This one I'm not really going to argue with that much, but is what we think of as a happy ending the same as what Littlepip thinks a happy ending would be? I think Littlepip might believe a happy ending is her finally being in a position to put a stop to all the madness, and that a happy ending might be the ability to help ease some of the loneliness Celestia has felt for the past 200 years. She made a promise to Celestia, and Littlepip isn't one to break promises if she can avoid it. Charge 4. The pod will make Pip outlive her friends, maybe even be immortal. This one is hard to call out because it really depends on how strong you think the stasis field of the pod is. I personally don't think it's that strong, and even if it is, I don't think Pip is going to use it for that purpose. We know she does not spend all her time in the pod. I don't think she can anyways. She has to communicate with people. She takes visitors, and I'm sure the SPP tower itself needs semi-regular maintenance. She might spend a couple of hours a day, or maybe a full day or two out of the week, actually stuck in the pod. The rest of the time, I'm sure, is spent with other business. She probably gets spent longer at first in the pod because more work needed to be done, but by the time of the afterward, I can't see her needing to be locked in the thing all the dang time. She does need the pod. Without it, she's dying. It's made clear that all the accumulated trauma, both emotional / mental and physical. The repeated exposure to radiation, taint, and pink cloud, dozens of bullet wounds, concussions, broken bones, a collapsed lung, poisoning, internal bleeding, has all caught up to her. She admits even before the end of the story that she's going to die young. I believe without the pod she has maybe about 5 or 10 years left. But I don't think the pod is going to extend her life that long. I think with the pod she gets another 20 to 40 years. I also don't think Celestia is going to allow Pip to make herself immortal. If a suitable replacement can be found, or the Pegasi can take over the weather duties again, I think that when Homage's time comes, Celestia is going to kick Pip out. Because to her, Pip being with the love of her life at the end is going to trump whatever obligation Pip holds to her. And Pip will follow Homage into the great beyond soon after that. I also believe that if anything comes up where Pip needs to be in the field again, Celestia would force her out too. Celestia already told Pip she didn't have to do this, that she could leave if she wanted to. It's only Pip's health and her sense of duty that keeps her there. Celestia wouldn't withdraw that offer. Pip can leave any time she needs to, and probably come back anytime she needs to as well, assuming Spike's willing to breathe on her again. I will give you this though, AMY. The story is one that stays with you long after finishing it. K-Cat's writing, her sense for character development and world building, adds real weight and makes things feel like they have real stakes. And while I clearly don't agree with you about the ending of the story and some of your conclusions from it, to be honest, some of the things I'm hung up on myself are a little on the smaller side. One could even argue the petty side. But that's for the next installment. Until then, bye. Hello, every pony.